Previously, Ji-eun tried to return to her normal life, but Kang Tae-hyun's mysterious presence only became more unsettling. Strange warnings, unexplained moments, and a message written directly in her notebook made her realize that this situation was no longer simple curiosity. Now everything feels closer, heavier, and harder to escape. The question is, what does Tae-hyun really want from her? And why does it already feel impossible to stay away? Ji-eun walked through the university campus with her headphones on, pretending to listen to music even though nothing was playing. It was easier than dealing with conversations she couldn't focus on anymore. Since the library incident, her thoughts had become messy. Constantly replaying every strange moment connected to Kang Tae-hyun, the message in her notebook still disturbed her more than she wanted to admit. You are already too close to turn back. She had checked her bag 3 times that morning, almost expecting another message to appear somewhere without explanation. As she crossed the main courtyard, groups of students moved around her naturally, laughing, talking, living their normal lives. Ji-eun tried to follow that rhythm, but something inside her no longer fit into it, and then she noticed it again, that strange feeling, like someone's eyes were quietly following her movements from somewhere nearby. She slowed down slightly and looked around without making it obvious. Nothing, just students, just noise, just ordinary life, but deep down, she knew the feeling was real now, and somehow, that frightened her more than Kang Tae-hyun himself. Ji-eun was leaving one of her afternoon classes when she saw him again near the vending machines at the end of the hallway. Kang Tae-hyun stood there alone, one hand in his pocket, the cold light above him making his expression look even more unreadable than usual. Ji-eun immediately lowered her eyes and tried to walk past without reacting, still pretending nothing is happening. His voice stopped her instantly, calm, low, controlled. Ji-eun slowly turned toward him, surprised by how naturally he had spoken, as if they had known each other longer than they actually had. I don't know what you're talking about, she replied quietly. Tae-hyun looked at her for a moment before speaking again. You keep looking around every few seconds now. Ji-eun's expression tightened slightly. You noticed that? I notice more than you think. Something about the way he said it made her uncomfortable immediately. Not threatening. Not emotional. Just factual. That was worse. She crossed her arms slightly, trying to regain control of herself. Why are you doing this? For the first time, Tae-hyun looked away briefly toward the hallway windows, then he answered softly, I could ask you the same thing. Ji-eun frowned, confused by the response. Before she could say anything else, Tae-hyun stepped away from the wall and walked past her calmly, his shoulder almost brushing hers as he disappeared down the corridor. And somehow, the silence he left behind felt heavier than the conversation itself. The conversation stayed in Ji-eun's mind for the rest of the day. No matter how hard she tried to focus on anything else, Tae-hyun's words kept replaying inside her head. I notice more than you think. There was something deeply unsettling about the way he spoke. Not dramatic. Not emotional. Just calm. Like he already understood parts of her life she never showed anyone. That feeling became worse later that evening. Ji-eun was sitting alone in a quiet cafe near the university, reviewing notes on her laptop, when her phone suddenly vibrated beside her. Unknown number. Again. Her stomach tightened immediately. Slowly, she opened the message. You should stop skipping breakfast before morning classes. Ji-eun's eyes widened slightly. Her fingers froze above the screen. No one knew that. Not her classmates. Not her professors. Not even most of her friends. She slowly looked around the cafe, her heartbeat becoming uneven. People were talking normally. A couple was laughing near the window. Nothing looked strange, but now the fear felt real, because someone wasn't just watching her anymore, someone knew her habits. By the time Ji-eun left the cafe, the sky above Seoul had already turned dark. Light rain was falling quietly over the streets, covering the city in reflections of white and neon lights. She walked quickly under the cold drizzle, holding her bag close to her chest, but her thoughts refused to calm down. That message had changed something. Before tonight, part of her still believed there had to be a logical explanation behind everything. Rumors. Coincidences. Bad timing. Now she wasn't sure anymore. As she reached the quieter road near the university entrance, she suddenly slowed down. Someone was standing ahead, under the rain, Kang Tae-hyun, he wasn't using an umbrella. His dark coat was slightly wet. Black hair falling loosely over his eyes, yet his expression remained completely calm, as if the cold didn't affect him at all. Ji-eun immediately stopped walking. For a few seconds, neither of them moved. Rain fell softly between them, filling the silence with a quiet tension that felt impossible to escape. Then Tae-hyun finally spoke. "You look scared." His voice was calm, almost gentle. Ji-eun tightened her grip on her bag. "Shouldn't I be?" Tae-hyun looked at her silently for a moment before stepping slightly closer. Not enough to threaten her. Just enough to make her heartbeat rise again. "I never told you to be afraid of me," he said quietly. Ji-eun's eyes searched his face, trying to understand him, but that only made things worse. The more she looked at him, the less she could predict what he was truly thinking, and that frightened her, because despite everything, a part of her still wanted to understand him. Ji-eun stood frozen under the rain, unable to fully look away from Kang Tae-hyun. The cold air, the silence, the strange calm in his eyes. Everything about the moment felt unreal. Then suddenly, Tae-hyun's expression changed slightly, not fear, not surprise, awareness. His eyes shifted past her shoulder, toward the opposite side of the street. Ji-eun slowly turned her head, across the road, partially hidden near a parked car. Someone was standing in the darkness watching them, completely still. The moment Ji-eun noticed the figure, it disappeared. Her heartbeat immediately rose, but when she turned back toward Tae-hyun, he was already looking in that direction again, colder than before. As if he already knew who it was. On a deeper level, we saw in this episode that Ji-eun and Kang Tae-hyun's connection is becoming more personal, more dangerous, and far more complicated than simple coincidence. The question now is, who was secretly watching them? And what happens when hidden secrets finally begin to surface? Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.